GlakoBlako here, checking out a game called Stories from Seoul. The Gun Dog. Let's hit the button. September 21st. Planetary Calendar 209. Following a raft of oppressive policies and crackdowns from the Earth-based government of the Solar Federation, the joint forces of the Martian territories and the Jovian Unified Colony Fleet rebelled. This conflict came to be known as the Solar War. The war carried on for 3 years, but eventually the combined forces of the Martian territories and Jovian Unified Colony Fleet managed to push Federation military all the way back to planet Earth. In the final days of the conflict, a pitched battle was fought in lunar orbit that would decide the war's victory. Lunar orbit. Aboard the Jovian carrier, JFS Clannad. You reflexively tighten your grip on your armored frame's twin flight sticks as another wave of vibrations reverberates through the cockpit. The creak of your new flight suit and your quickening breath are the only sounds that you hear above the gentle hum of the frame's subsystem. As you squeeze the controls tighter, their plastic casings creak under the pressure. You try and stay calm, knowing that these gentle vibrations are remnants of a huge shock wave that are buffering the the carrier that you're stationed on. Each one is near miss as an explosion tears through the space around you. You try to push the thought from your mind and focus on controlling your breathing, but you've already realized that their frequency means the Clannad must be near death. Your squadron will be launching soon, and you'll be engaging in your first real sortie. Your first real fight, in fact. You feel your throat tighten. Simulations are one thing, but this is another. But you know that pilots are supposed to have hundreds of hours of live flight hours in real armored frames before they're allowed anywhere near the front lines. Of course, that didn't happen. Command had told you that the modern simulators meant cadets could graduate without the need for these exercises. You'd overheard the rumors, though. The Jovian Colony Fleet had lost a lot of pilots and still wanting to keep pace with the Martian advance against Earth, had resorted to fielding anyone who could fight. Your whole squadron is just like you, freshly conscripted from the Europa colony. You'd undergone basic training in there, but almost all of your flight training had taken place on the cruiser's journey from Jovian space. You wonder how the others are feeling right now, whether... Clannad 5, this is Flight Deck. We're preparing your squad for takeoff. Running last-minute diagnostics on your frame. Activating all systems. Now. Alright, looks all good to go. Run a few more checks. Then we'll have you spaceborne in a few minutes. You ready to show those Terrans who's boss? Yeah, I can't wait to get out there. I'm gonna... stammer, trying to be best to convince not the engineer but yourself that you're ready for what's waiting for you. Whoa, take a breath there, Clannad 5. It's not gonna be that bad out there. No need to get all riled up here in the hangar. Tell you what, pilot, what's your name? What is our name? Let's be... tells us we need to make a name. We go with... Gombo. Okay, Gombo. What's your surname? Surname is Gombo Low. Gombo Low. Okay, Ensign Low. First up, take a few deep breaths for me. In and out, nice and slow. You got that? draw in one long, measured breath and hold it, then release it, following the engineer's instructions. You repeat this a few more times. After a while, you begin to feel your pulse slow and some of the tension in your body slip away. You still feel on edge, but feel slightly less so. Alright, there we go. Now listen up, Ensign. You ain't got a thing to worry about. Well, way I've heard it, it's all just Terran's best pilots were taken care of between here and Mars. Heck, Martians are the ones who've been leading the charge today, so they're the ones taking all the flack. Propaganda machines telling this is our decisive strike against Earth's last line of defense. Between you and me, it ain't nothing more than a mopping up situation. A buddy of mine in operations said as much in the canteen last night. You hear a dull ring over the comms and sit bolt upright in your seat, slouching back and exhaling as you realize it's nothing more than the engineer striking the conversation. This beauty here is a work of art. Terran frames ain't got nothing on here. Probably spent more time with this one than I have with my own kid, but don't you worry. Remember what they taught you in training and leave the rest up to her. They'll come out of this just fine. Despite your startled reaction a moment ago, the engineering confidence is infectious and it's starting to rub off on you. You adjust your position in your seat so that you're sat upright. The soft hum of the frame systems now seems more comforting than ominous. Just a mopping up operation, you think. Martians have done all the work. Nothing to worry about. So, Ensign Low, how are you feeling about things now? I'm ready to get out there and kick some butt, you declared, channeling your newfound calm. That's the spirit, Ensign. Now hang on to that. Left alone with your thoughts, you tune back into the gentle hum of the frame. You watch the seconds flick away on the cockpit clock. The wait seems to drag on and on. You carry out a few last-minute flight checks, but as you already completed them when you boarded, nothing has changed. Alright, pilots, listen up. This is Clannad 1. We've been cleared for launch, so be ready for immediate action. All frames will be taking off in designated order. Attack formation, sound off. Clannad 2, ready. Clannad 3, ready. Clannad 4, here, ready for takeoff. Clannad 5, converting your status. Oh yeah, standing by. Clannad 6, Clannad 6, ready. Clannad Squadron, move out. Clannad 1, launching. Clannad 2, launching. Clannad 3, launching. Clannad 4, launching. You watch as your comrades blast off. Your imminent future awaits. The roll call of your squadron as they depart from the ship and accelerate rapidly towards the combat zone. Sounds almost like a countdown to you. Once Clannad 4 has declared their launch, you know your time has come. You disengage the restraints and prepare yourself. Clannad 5, launching. You shout as you slam the flight sticks forward for a maximum thrust. Danger! Clannad 5, abort launch. Cut thrusters. Clannad 5, abort launch. Cut thrusters. The engineer's instructions barely register in the confusion as you're jerked around the cockpit. Your helmet slamming onto the control panel as a brief moment of thrust throws you back into your seat before you're whipped forward again. Warnings flash all over your monitors and sirens and alerts sound from all over the cockpit. Clannad 5, abort launch. Abort launch. Cut thrusters. It takes a few seconds for you to comprehend the engineer's words. But once you do, you quickly pull the flight sticks back to their neutral position. The roar of your frame's engine dies and your cockpit regains its previous stillness. You wince as the metallic taste of blood fills your mouth. Alright, Glak 5, hang tight for a moment. The frame's restraints didn't accept the disengage command, so you're still attached to the Glak. We're gonna need to run some diagnostics. Shouldn't take too long. Slump in the cockpit's chair, exhale deeply. Your heart still pounding a million beats a minute, and your lips stings. You continue to slow your breathing as you listen to the still open communication channel from the maintenance crew. Hey, yeah, looks like the restraints disengage command didn't register. Yeah, Unit 5. Alright, yeah. Get Unit 6 out, no sense waiting for this one. Okay, start the diagnostics. Review if necessary. Glak 6, launching. There goes another one. What do you mean the hardware fault? We've checked out this thing since Mars, at least. Who's assigned to number 5? Fine, right. Shut down systems and run the diagnostics again. Want this frame out there in the next 5 minutes. Glak 5, we're going to shut down your frame systems for a moment so we can run diagnostics. Stay ready though. We'll have you launching soon. Ready and waiting. As your cockpit fades to darkness again, you release the flight sticks and suddenly realize just how long you've been clenching your fists around time. You flex your fingers and roll your shoulders, exhaling again as you begin to hear the muffled sounds of the engineers working on your frame's restraints. Staring at the dead monitor, you slowly begin to smile. This is what you wanted, wasn't it? Spent so long worrying about this mission that you'd thrown up twice in the past 24 hours. Now it looks like that was all for nothing. You'd got what you wanted, and you were safe. As safe as you can be, strapped to the outside of a military carrier in an inactive armored frame, anyway. Your smile widens inadvertently at the thought. Getting shot down in an inactive frame, still in its restraints. It become a cautionary tale for engineers and pilots throughout the entire Jovian colony fleet. Your mind turns quickly to the rest of your squadron. When they return, you'd be the laughingstock of the entire crew. The pilot who'd spent their entire first mission stuck in a dark cockpit. You'd dodged a bullet, but you'd never live this one over. This is Glak 6. They've cut off the flight path. There's more. There's a whole squadron of carriers coming in from the E field. Glak 1. They're going to cut you off from the fleet. Glak 6 signal disappears. Signal lost. However, with your frame system shut down remotely by the maintenance crew, you can do nothing but sit in darkness and stillness and listen to the events unfold. Glak 6, respond. Glak 6, what's going on? How many carriers are coming in from E-Field? Ma'am, Glak 6's signal has been lost. It's not responding. He's Hold it together, Glak 4. All units, form up. Defensive formation on me. I said all units, Glak 2. Don't break formation. Ma'am, they're firing on us. There's so many of them. Oh God. Ma'am, help. In an instant, our communication channel is flooded with cries of terror and panic. You hear your squad mates, your fellow pilots, exclamation of fear as this unexpected enemy force bears down. Screams and yelps, wails and howls fill your head as you sit perilously in the dark confines of your cockpit. Hey, who's out there? Engineering. Hey, get me ready, I can help. Get me ready to launch. Engineering. They're getting killed out there. I need to go now. You shout demands to get your frame ready for launch over the channel, but are met with no response. In the dark of the cockpit, with your controls unresponsive, you can't be sure where the channel is closed or if no one's listening. With all attention turned to receiving the battle damages units from your squad. Listen to me, anyone, get me out of here. You desperately begin attempting a manual override of your systems, but find that nothing responds to you. The only spark of life that you can glean from your frame is the small diagnostic progress bar. I need to be out there, anyone, hey. In one last desperate attempt, you begin to hammering on your cockpit walls, hoping to get the attention of the engineers you could hear outside earlier. The entire time, the chaos of the combat out in space is narrated to you in broken fragments of radio chatter. There's 3, 4, on me. I've lost my shield, I can't shake them. They're everywhere, The line of retreat's totally cut off. We can't get back to the ship, ma'am. What do we do? What do we do? Stop panicking and form up. 3 and 4, on me. We're going to punch a hole through their formation and... Ma'am, come in. Ma'am, oh no. One by one, your squad signals disappear and the cacophony of panic disappears, replaced by the gentle hiss of static. You stop hammering on the side of your cockpit as the last voice is cut off. You're drenched in a cold sweat now, and your empty stomach feels like a rock has sunk to the bottom of it. You lean back and stare blankly ahead. This is Glak 5. Ready for takeoff. September 21st, planetary calendar 209. Despite last-minute reinforcements for the Solar Federation from their headquarters on Earth, the battle above Lunar is a victory for the joint Martian and Jovian forces. This would be the final battle of the Solar War. Having lost their last stronghold on Lunar, the Solar Federation would agree to a ceasefire and sign an armistice to end hostilities and uneasy peace fills the solar system. With the conflict between the Solar Federation and the Martian-Jovian alliance concluded, the Clannad and her crew soon returned to the Europa colony near Jupiter. April 19th, planetary calendar 214. The reduced need for pilots away from the delicate space between Earth and Mars saw Ensign Lowe reassigned to security details aboard various Jovian ships. He's eventually promoted to lieutenant. 4 years have passed since the battle above Lunar. The Jovian colony fleet, fearing fresh aggression from Earth, has increased patrols near its colonies after picking up unusual signals coming from further out in the solar system. Patrol's ship JF's Gundog is dispatched to support the JF's O'Brien. Jovian space. Aboard the Jovian patrol ship JFS Gundog. As the rumble of Gundog's engines, roaring to life, reverberate through the ship, you clench your fists. It's been 4 years, and to this day, the sensation of tremors, whether they're the ship engines, docking clamps, or weapon drills, still ties your stomach into knots. A bad trait for a ship security officer. You shake your head and exhale toward, taking a moment before stowing the last of your possessions and pushing the door open. You feel the click on his locks into place, and the exterior plastic paneling sits completely flush with its surroundings. Stepping back, you look around the facilities. You take another deep breath and hold it for a moment. Although this was from your first position as a security officer, you always felt the same sense of trepidation, if not anxiety. As similar as all the ships were, they all came with their own unique crews and personalities. With those came unique problems. Breathing out, you take a look around the room, taking stock of your surroundings. So over on your right, you've got Look, use, talk, move, and item. It's pretty much all that you got there in this game. It's kind of like a point and click game slash novel style game.
Alright, so we're in the game.
You're basically playing a story. You're not really solving any problems. You basically just interact with the environment. There may be a few puzzles in the game, I'm not really sure. I didn't run into any. Primarily just narrative, you're just playing through a story. You can hit the exit and it'll pull up this screen. We save it for our first time. Right here, we're just trying to figure out what to do in the game. Hit the look button, then it gives us access to use. So we scroll and see what we can use. We hit the computer, but nothing much happens. Now that unlocks the move button, so we hit that and we get out of our room into the hallway. There isn't a lot of places you can go in the very beginning. You just want to head straight and go to the flight deck. Or no, it's not the flight deck, it's the captain's quarters. Whatever that place in Star Wars or Star Trek is, where they all have their meetings. The word's not coming to me. But it's where they have their discussions if they're in battle or there's an emergency. There's usually like a security guy up there that's monitoring comms or systems, data. Anyway, lots of corridors in this game, so we're just kind of wandering around trying to figure out where we're supposed to go on the JFS. Warning, low gravity. To your left is the hangar, but we're not trying to go there right now. Heading towards the central hub, you run into some elevators. This is a very text-heavy game, so if that's not your style, it's probably not for you. But I like the graphics. Not many games like this anymore. The bridge, that's the word. We're trying to get to the bridge, but before we do, we get interrupted. In a moment. Just as you're about to get on the elevator, someone yells at you, hands up, freeze. You don't know what's going on, so you just kind of look around. You don't know who's behind you, trying to stick you up. But eventually you do turn around. I said hands in the air! As you turn around, you begin to realize who it is. Lieutenant Lowe, security detail, ID, blah, blah, blah. I'm on my way to meet with the captain. Suddenly you realize it's an old fling from way back when. The girl you've been dreaming of. You're taken aback for a second, as this just isn't any officer. This is Cassie. What do you... Cassie is her name. She comes up and gives you a hug. You big doofus, you should have seen your face when you turned around. You were all... I love that face you make when you think you're in trouble. She seems like a nice person. Cassandra. Bit of a prankster. You should have known, really. She's always been one for bad jokes and stupid pranks as long as you've known her. So you catch up a bit, and then you decide to have her give you a tour, since she seems to know the ship a lot better than you do. She also knows the crew, so that should help. She'll help you meet all the different people on the ship. But if you're being honest, her playful nature is what attracted you to her in the first place. Certainly better than what happened in the beginning of the game. Something that they could have added is just like a little animated mouth, like they're talking, instead of a freeze frame. But maybe that's nitpicking. Anyway, you guys talk for a while, and eventually you move on. You place your face in your hands as a dull groan rises from the back of your throat. This isn't the first time you've heard a story like this. Guess she had goofed up on another ship and she kind of got downgraded in her career path based on the failure that she had. But she's here with you now, and so you'll be spending a lot of time together. I'm surprised you're still even stationed on a ship. How are you not stuck back in Records Room in Europa colony? Well, I probably shouldn't tell you this, but if I can't trust you, who can I trust? Turns out this mission was organized at really short notice. The Gundog was the only ship available. The problem was that they'd been having issues with the crew, and so they had to transfer some in short notice. She explains how she wound up being on the ship. And she actually got you to be shipped over here as well, and that's why you're together now. Oh, you figured it out. I may have used one of my contacts from the Academy that works in resources to transfer you over here. I'm pretty sure you know every regulation you broke by doing that. Oh, what was I supposed to do? Get stationed to some tiny ship heading out to the middle of nowhere with no one I know on the crew? We haven't seen each other in months. Aren't you glad to see me? Of course I'm glad to see you. I missed you too, you know. It's been a long time. You don't become part of the Alliance Operations Department without some serious talent. I'm not going anywhere. Oh, you said you were on your way to see the captain, right? Have you had a chance to take a look around the ship yet? She offers to give you a tour of the ship. So of course you take her up on the offer. Where do you want to go first? I was on my way to see the captain. I felt that engine startup, so I know we're launching soon. I thought that I should probably report in as soon as possible. Well, don't worry about that. I've already logged you on board, so it's just a formality now. Besides, Captain Tarmus isn't exactly a stickler for our procedure, so we can check out anywhere you want before we head up there. Well, alright, in that case, this is going to be the best tour you've ever been on. By the time it's over, you'll have seen every inch of the ship and met everyone on board. It's been so long since we last seen each other. We definitely need to take time to stop by my quarters and get reacquainted. You can now access every area on the Gundog. You can roam freely in the game. More freely than you could before, anyway. If you want to talk to Cassandra, just hit the talk button. While at other times, you might be in a room with some people and you can hit that button and you'll talk to them as well. But for now, just you and her, so when you hit that button, you're talking to Cassandra. Four-side thoroughfare is way more of a hub since you can get to all sorts of places really quickly. Get some snacks from the mess hall to take back to your quarters easy. If you want a quick soda while taking an audit, that in the hangar, you're there and back in no time. They should move the bridge to the front of the ship. It sounds to me like you just want a vending machine on the bridge. Hey, that's not a bad idea. But still, it's a long way to get to the other end of the ship, no matter where you're going. How would you solve that problem? Maybe change the shape of the ship so the center is really the center? Guess she doesn't like the shape of the ship or something. Wants to redesign it. Don't think it works that way. Hit the move button and you've got a lot more options now. We just decide to head to the sick bay, I think. Here we are in the sick bay. There's a doctor around here somewhere. Friend of Cassandra's. Pretty sure she's friends with everyone on the ship. The walls are lined with cupboards and cabinets containing medical supplies and various devices sit on the countertops. There he is. There's the doctor. He's got a bit of an eye patch, or he might be a cyborg. Can't really tell. Looks like he's got a robot arm on his right arm. So that is probably a cyborg eyeball. Dr. Rosarium. Anyway, this is the game. It's called Stories from the Soul. stories from Soul the Gun Dog. Check it out. GlakoBlako out.